Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's been a week full of little adventures and we're so excited to share everything with you. This week, we focused on building a fourth garden bed, all while soaking up this unbelievably beautiful December weather. Our freshly painted kitchen cupboards hit a small hiccup, but Gisli came up with a clever fix to save our beloved kitchen interior. The kitchen walls are finally starting to show their true shape and colors, and even the outside windowsill is beginning to take form. So stick around and join us as we walk through another calm but adventure-filled week on our small farm in the south of France. Thanks for being here, and let's dive in. The month of December has really started to show its teeth, and the nights are getting incredibly cold. That's why having a constant supply of firewood in our little house is essential. Thankfully, the house came with plenty of firewood scattered around the property, so at least for now, we don't have to worry about keeping warm. We've already had a few nights dipping below zero, but the days don't seem bothered at all. By midday, the sun is warm enough that you can still walk outside without even needing a jacket. It's a strange mix of winter bite and autumn warmth, but we're definitely not complaining. One of the big projects this week has been building our fourth garden bed. Even though it sometimes feels like we'll never fill the garden with all the rows that we need for the next season, tackling them one by one definitely brings us closer to our goal. There is still plenty more to build, but let's not think about that just yet. If you're new to the channel, it's good to know that we have decided to use a no-till, no-dig approach in our garden. In simple terms, that means we avoid turning or disturbing the soil as much as possible. Instead of digging, we build up layers, usually compost, mulch, and organic matter, right on top of the ground. This keeps the soil structure intact, protects all the beneficial organisms living in it, and helps it stay healthy, rich, and full of life. It's a slower, gentle way of gardening, but it allows nature to do the most of the hard work for us, and the results can be amazing. So the first layer we put down is cardboard, which we have gathered from our local stores. We make sure to remove every bit of tape, stickers, or labels so we don't introduce any unnecessary chemicals into the soil. This step is important because it blocks sunlight from reaching the weeds already living in the soil. Over time, this gradually weakens them until they stop showing up as much. The second step is building the beds using a mold that Gisli made and then letting the tractor pour the soil directly into it. It saves so much time and gives the beds a ready, clean, uniform shape. Around the beds, we spray a thick layer of wood chips, not only to prevent weeds from coming up, but also to create clean, comfortable walking paths that stay mud-free even after heavy rain. Working in the open space was the perfect chance to try a few drone tricks, even if it sometimes forgets what personal space is. While the process takes a bit of time, watching the space slowly transform into our future garden keeps us motivated and excited for what's to come. The work on our farm doesn't stop there. Inside the house, Gisli has run into a tricky problem that he needs to solve to save our precious kitchen cupboards.
been 2 days since we started painting the doors for the kitchen cabinets. Obviously we didn't sand and clean all of them perfectly. This one needs to be redone. Most of them turned out pretty good. This one is a little defect here. Most of the other ones are acceptable. Maybe just tiny places where it's a little thin. So now I'm gonna give it another go. Probably sand and clean this one properly. Did buy some alcohol to get rid of all the fats, so the paint doesn't dissipate like that. So this is just water-based wall paint. Alright. So we can thin it out with just water. We just need to make it thin enough to spray with the So what happened the first time we were spraying is it was way too thick and it was like splattering a lot. You could see kind of droplets after spraying, and then we ended up just putting water within the paint in the paint can and stirring it there. So now I'm just going to go and make the whole batch of paint thinner so I don't have to think about it again. And I guess it's pretty much a guessing game how thin you should make it. I'm gonna go a little thinner. If it goes too thin, you're gonna have problems with the paint not adhering properly. So you don't want to go too thin. The doors were super dirty from the previous owner of the kitchen, all covered in brown fat stains. I thought we sanded it properly, but I guess we missed this door quite a bit. So, place your bets. The paint all gonna come off the door and I completely have to start at the beginning? Or not? Alright. Looks like it didn't strip all the paint off. Looking good? No, but let's hope it comes out well. I'm just gonna go over the other defects I see and do the same. Really hope I get everything perfect this time so we can spray the varnish. afraid a lot more than I was planning to. It just felt like it wasn't gonna turn out right. Too much splatter around and I don't cover lightly the entire front. So hopefully we will still have some visible wood grain finish to the paint. This worst one I can see it's still not clean. Ooh. I think I will call this good.
Some of the other cupboards also need a bit of love in the form of wood filler to repair the chips and dents they picked up during disassembly and transport to our home. Gisli is really getting the hang of it, and already the furniture looks so much better. Even though December is already here, that doesn't stop us from planting new trees. After waiting an entire month for the plants we ordered back when it was much warmer, they have finally arrived. The nursery later explained that the reason for the wait was to allow the trees to reach full dormancy, which protects their bare roots during transplanting. With the garden looking a bit fuller and our new trees finally in the ground, it's time to head back inside and see what Gisli has been up to in the kitchen.
Alright. So I've done the first coat here to fill up of lime plaster. I think I'm just gonna go one coat now over everything and have it as the finishing coat. I hope this surface is rough enough for the coat to stick, otherwise it's gonna be real awkward.
This kitchen was the very first room we decided to renovate in this house, and it's already gone through so many changes. Now, Gisli is moving on to the next step, plastering the walls. It's a time-consuming process, but there's something so satisfying about watching all the dark patches transform into one smooth texture and color.
This took forever to set up, but to get a little drier so I can actually try and even it out a little. The texture came out quite washboardy, so hopefully I can even it now with the sponge and the water. It worked using the sponge. It no longer looks like a washboard, but it's super rough. Gonna see once it dries if perhaps you can scrape off the roughness a little bit. But all in all, quite happy with the result. Not nearly as rough as it was before. Now it's been around 12 hours It's been curing for it. I think now is the right time to knock down the surface a little. If I just lightly go over, I take the biggest grains of sand out, giving a little bit of a smoother texture on the wall. This is how you're supposed to do it? Probably. So, from what I've read is that you wanna spray it a little with water for the first 2-3 days. Make sure it cures slowly so it doesn't crack. It's not a very thick coat. I guess it's like 3 to 4 millimeters. And in some places, pretty much 0, because the old wall is very uneven. But overall, I quite like the look. I think it was a decent first try. I will have plenty of time to practice in this house. Now it's time to do the rest of the walls with lime plaster. Just gonna put a top coat over it, and then we can go to painting once that's dry. First step I did was to sand everything, make sure it's smooth or rough, depending on how you look at it. Just take all the paint off around where I'm gonna put the lime plaster. Now I'm gonna make sure everything is wet, so the plaster doesn't dry too fast and it sticks properly. Yeah, then we just go to mixing the plaster and putting it on. I'm gonna be making the base coat that I put the other day. Base lime plaster coat. I'm gonna make it a little extra wet because I did notice when doing the other wall, it dries so much faster. And on this side it's nothing much, it's just where I moved the light switch. It was here next to the door to the garden. I don't really have it close to where you walk into the room. Oh. Alright, so we want to mix the lime putty powder. We want to mix it 1 part to around 1.5 to 2 parts of sand. How I measure this is guessing, an estimation. And you really don't want to get this in your eye, so always wear safety glasses. And I dropped something in there. Ooh. So what I'm looking for in texture is around Greek yogurt, something like that. How much sand to add, it's just, yeah, what you feel like. Try to aim for what you think is 1.5 to 2 times the weight. Is this the correct texture? Probably. Works for me. All right, let's put it on. Wow. And you have to make sure to wet the trowel a little. If you're covering an entire wall, they recommend if you're right-handed to start in the right bottom corner and work your way up and over. But since I'm not doing the entire wall, but patches, I'm just gonna start where I feel like it. Time to start the window. A little bit nervous about this one since I think it has to be quite smooth. Already looks pretty decent, but I just don't know. It's too rough to paint over straight on the mortar or not. Or maybe this is even rougher. Good. This is going poorly. Now I'm ripping up the finish on the top one and I'm going up. It's pretty good. I think I can fix the rest once I go with the sponge. It just popped into my head that I guess not many people from Iceland and Greece, maybe they don't know what shocks, or however you say it in French, my French is not good enough, what it actually means in the name of the channel. It's the word for fields in French. So we called it the channel the Little Icelandic Fields. But we kind of like the name because champs sounds like little champions. So like the little Icelandic champions. We thought that was a little cool because our boys are Icelandic. So the little Icelandic champions just sounded like a nice name to us. Up here I did close the hole for the chimney. Should be good. I covered the top with a metal plate and then I filled it with expanding foam. And then I just put a little cement and I'm going to flatten it out with the lime plaster. I wonder how Ollie is gonna feel once he sees I took like a 2-hour video of me doing plastering with a tiny bit of talking every 20 minutes. I think he will love it.
She was thrilled.
I'm gonna make sure this time that it's very wet. Under the first coat of limestone here. Terrible lighting. Yeah, check. So I just finished all the little spots I needed to take, and it's already drying in some places much faster. I'm gonna start smoothing it out with a sponge. Where it's dragging the material, it's not ready. But here where the lime plaster was already behind, it's already dry. Now it's been a couple of hours. I already did around the window, but now everything else is kind of dry enough. The shine has gone away. This kind of where it looks still very wet. So now it's ready for the sponge. So I don't know how visible it is on the camera, but you can see this kind of washboard effect. This is quite easy to remove. And I want to make sure to thin out of the edges as much as I can. So hopefully it looks decent after I paint it. I'm really starting to like this limestone plastering. As you can see, what a horrible job I did here. Everything is just horribly uneven. And it just kind of fills all the voids, smooths everything out. And then once we paint over it, I'm pretty sure it will be the same texture or a little bit nicer than what was already here. So hopefully we're aiming for the same texture, so it doesn't look different. But ooh, that was a little tingly. I guess I don't have to worry about live electricity anymore. If you want to learn one thing from these videos, that's to show more caution than I do, like wearing safety glasses, gloves, and maybe turn off the electricity. But I just don't care enough. Because most of the time, electricity just tingles a little. I guess I won't be lucky forever. And now it is 3 hours later, and it's time to knock the stones off. Alright, time to make a windowsill. Gonna put the mold. I've already took the level and made the markings where it's gonna go. But first I need to start with getting rid of some of this limestone. So make sure I have good adhesion to the concrete. I'm gonna start there, loud and messy. Alright, now that we've roughened up the surface, we can put up the mold.
Sometimes, no matter how careful you are, things don't go your way.
This is gonna pull out the other side. Okay. Fun. Yeah, great. Oh, this is great. Okay.
Despite the chilly nights, the weather here in France is mild enough to feel almost unreal after so many cold years in Sweden. We're happy living in this calm place where we can enjoy nature with all its colors and sounds. Thank you for staying with us through this episode, and we'll see you next week.